Cool.
Hello.
And welcome to the live show for Faes and Gays. We are talking about our Janaury book, which was The Black Tides of Heaven by Neon Young. I don't have my copy, but we can pretend.
I don't have it either.
Yeah. He's covering it for all of us.
Magical air.
Does anyone want to try and give a synopsis of this book? Anyone want to try and give a synopsis? Yeah, that's about how I would feel.
I feel my wrap up, and I was trying to describe the book in my wrap up, and I was just like, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
I was re-looking up the names because for some reason the names of the two main characters completely escaped me after I finished reading it. So then I looked and I found a summary of it, but now I'm like, did I read this book?
Yeah, I feel like just like an overall thought, I did feel really confused through a lot of it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I enjoyed it. I think I gave it like 4 stars, but I did spend a lot of it quite confused about where it was going.
Yeah. Like, I felt like the first half, I was like, oh, I get it. And then once everyone's separated, I was like, what are we doing? Where are we? What's happening? And I felt like I was so lost and detached. I was like, I'm just here for the ride at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt like a lot of the magic system, like, it wasn't ever explained at all.
Yeah, same.
Not at all.
Like, yeah, I just felt like they just kept talking about, I don't even know what it was called, water something and earth something, and I was like,
yeah,
what are you doing? I don't even know what it was called.
But yeah, are we gonna all give general thoughts?
Oh yeah.
Or are we gonna try to say what the book was about first?
We just trust the fact that anyone who's here has probably read it.
I mean, when it comes to like what is it about,
there's
like 2 twins, and in this society, everyone's pretty much raised like without gender. Like, everyone uses they them pronouns, and it's kind of like you choose when you're like 17 or 18ish, and then they are the kids of not the prophet, the protector. The protector. They're the kids of the protector, which to me seemed like the ruler, the king, whatever.
Yeah.
Of the
yeah.
But like, they seemed like their mom really didn't care about them.
Well, their mom sent them away. She had to send them to a monastery because she'd like struck a deal with someone.
Yeah. She said she like
the monastery
saying like, we have to give one up, but then she gave 2.
Yeah.
But the monastery wanted the protector's other kid, but then she was like, haha, but I got new kids, so you're getting them instead. So like she tricked them. Yeah.
Pretty much.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the whole way through she just seemed a bit.
I was like, you good?
Yeah. And then she got the 2 kids, and then one of them, which one?
I think
Mokoya has like visions, and then she wants them back because of those visions, and then they leave the monastery and go back to live with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
That's like
yeah.
I would say. Yeah.
So what did people think? What did you all think? What did you rate it?
Ooh. I gave it a 3.5. Simply because I enjoyed it, but again, I was lost the second half. And I feel like I like that it was a novella, but I feel like, I know that it's like a 4-book series. I feel like those 30 years should have been spread out between those 4-book series instead of all in this one book. Because I feel like I knew none of the characters other than, this is your name, this is your pronouns, and you have this power. Like, I feel like was the most I knew from them for some reason. So it's like, I felt like I just needed a little bit more about what was happening.
Yeah, I agree with that. I almost the opposite though. I felt really lost through like the first half. I just couldn't, the first 150 pages, considering it's only 230 long, could not get a grip on where it was going, like what the motivation was, what they were aiming for. Like, they just seemed to be doing these tasks and like tracking a person down and speaking to them, and I was just like, why? Like, what's the aim here? What's going on? So yeah, but again, you say we know people's powers. Do we?
Do we? We know kind of what they do. They're like, you see visions. All right, I guess that's what we're going with. You just
Yeah.
I
It's
still
like-
don't get what like the main character, Akea, what was the power kind of.
I think theirs was like a bit of everything, but they seem to have almost like super strength and super good fighting skills, but I don't know if it was like a power. I don't know. Again, it was not clear.
It was not. Maybe it gets more clear in the later books, but
I'm so torn about reading the sequels. Like, I really kind of want to, because by the end of this one, I was like, yeah, okay, I want to pick up the second book.
mm-hmm.
But I just know so many people who don't like the sequels.
Ooh,
And I'm just like, I'm scared.
I might try out the second one and see how it goes.
Yeah, that's what
This
I'm
is a
thinking.
novella, you know. I'm not committing a lot of my time to reading it.
Exactly. What did you rate it, Sandra?
I rated it like 4, but I think that's a bit rounded up. I think it would be like a 3.5, but it's closer to 4 than 3. I think I liked it a lot when reading it, but like now it's been some time, as per usual. And now like I feel like I like it a bit less. Not like I think the book is bad. I think it has many good elements, fun things that we will probably talk about, but it's also like it is lacking a bit because it's short. And I feel like I told Maddie earlier before you came, Cecilia, I feel like they really just took like, since it's so short, they had to take just like all the big moments in their lives, so they skip so much, so you miss so many details. I'm not saying that it needs to be like 800 pages, but it's like it's like you see like a little glimpse of their lives, but you don't get the full story to really feel connected with them. So
True.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the book wasn't bad. It was good, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like there was a point where it jumped from like age 17 to 29. I'm like, that's a big jump. There's a lot that could have happened in those years. I need to know.
Especially as wasn't that the point where they'd both had their gender confirmed and like their paths had completely diverged?
Yeah, like I would have
And
like
suddenly you're seeing Akiha, I don't know how you say it, Akiha, living as a man and like basically slightly criminal. And I was like, we have missed so much of how this has come to be. And like, yeah, it was odd.
Yeah, it was really weird.
I guess kind of a simple question. Did people prefer Makoya or Akiha?
I liked Akiya, but we did follow that character.
Yeah.
But the next one, apparently the sequel, follows Mokoya. So
Ooh, nice.
That might be interesting.
yeah. But it's like it's not the same storyline. It's like after this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I assume.
But I can we talk spoilers, or it's like it's too soon?
Yeah,
it's so short. So like
it's a short book. It's hard to not.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Because I really don't like the trope where like two people are really close, and just because one of them gets a significant other, they can't be close anymore. Because that happened. They were like twins and best friends forever, and be like, oh, we will always be there for each other. We love each other. And I was like, yay, sibling relationship, right? And then she fell in love with that dude that I don't remember the name of.
I don't remember his name.
And then it was like,
I said, can we say also that they fell in love very quickly? Like within
like instantly, they're gonna have babies
in like 24 hours.
Yeah. And then Akea was like, oh no, now I can't be in your life anymore because you have a
man
partner now. Bye. And I was like, what? That's not how. That's so annoying. I hate that trope so much.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think I also massively felt for Akea in that situation though, because basically Mokoya had been so confident in their gender, had kind of done that, had found the guy, like just kind of gone off and done it. And I feel like Akea, it was less to do with the fact they had a significant other. I think I don't know which pronouns to use because it switches halfway through the book. But they seemed to massively struggle with being left behind. I feel like that was the thing, like their sister was the prophet. They had a significant other. They were going to live with basically like the prince and knew who they were. And I feel like, although not necessarily a mature response, I feel like that's why Akiha kind of just completely separated. And I agree, it probably shouldn't have kept that separation the whole way through. Like it was seriously unnecessary to have like 20-year gap or whatever it was. But I can understand kind of why that was the route taken.
Yeah. Someone said the romance was so convincing, and then like Ikea was into him too. Why?
I was so down for Akira and Thenjay being a thing.
I was like,
I was like,
ooh,
oh, perfect. Let's flip it on its head, and then no.
I was like, enemies to lovers.
Yeah. I was for a moment I thought that Genji was gonna like bang them both, and then that was why they would like fight, but that didn't
That would
happen.
be interesting.
Yeah,
I wish. No,
that would have been great. I like that.
I'm like, that would have been really interesting if that's the reason, because that would make a lot more sense than what we got.
I feel like as well, it's one of the reasons I'm sad they split up, because I really liked Thenjay, and I was sad that we got like a big chunk where he was no longer in it. So I found him a really interesting character. He was just so ballsy. I just liked him.
He was very ballsy.
Genji also, like, since you spoke about like pronouns just now, like Genji, they said that he had chosen, like he knew that he was a man when he was like super young, like didn't he? If I remember correctly.
I think so.
And then
I think
I don't know. Oh, I'm breaking up. Oh shit. I think I lagged. I don't know what happened. Lag.
You're not too bad on our end, I don't think.
It's not too bad, yeah.
What were you trying to say?
You guys completely froze up. And Ikea chose after
Okay, now you're lagging.
Oh yeah, now you're lagging.
Sorry.
I think what you're trying to say is that Ikea only chose after Makoya had like made that choice and gone that way. I'm guessing that's what you're trying to say through the lag.
Yeah. So do you guys think that Ikea would have chosen if not Makoya had chosen?
No, I don't think so.
But that was one thing I was interested in terms of the society, is do you have to choose? Is it an option to just not choose and not get confirmed either way? That was one of the things I didn't feel like they ever stated, whether it was like mandatory to make a choice at some point and you could just kind of decide when, or whether like you could just continue.
I don't think they had to choose.
Yeah, because we didn't see anyone who didn't choose to not confirm, but we did see people who chose not to go through like the surgery to.
Yeah.
We know that part isn't shown, but I don't know if it was specifically stated.
Yeah,
but it's just we wanted to.
But
and then
I think
Makoya said like, "Oh no, that's not possible." Of saying, not choosing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like if it had been an option, Ikea would have just very happily not chosen. The vibe I was getting anyway.
But I think Ikea said to Makoya when Makoya had chosen, like, we had decided together to never choose. But was that when Makoya said, like, that's not possible?
Yeah, Makoya said like that. That was when we were 6. That we can't do that, or some form of that. I can't remember the specific wording, but
yeah, I did find it interesting though that even if it felt like Ikea never really would have chosen if they didn't have to, I really liked the scene when they were basically sat trying different gendered language to kind of see what made them feel comfortable. And I liked that although maybe they wouldn't have chosen to get confirmed either way, that they still seemed to get some level of like gender euphoria from sort of the more masculine pronouns and stuff. And it felt less awkwardly like they were being forced into a decision at that point. So I was like, okay, at least they're not like really massively uncomfortable being forced into this situation, even if it doesn't necessarily feel like what they would have done if they'd had a free choice.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was an interesting one.
It was interesting.
The whole gender thing was definitely very interesting.
I wish it had been explored more, and I understand in a book of this length you kind of need to just get to the plot and the characters, but I would love almost like a compendium of just like 100-page novella about the novella, just of world building, like explaining all the magic systems, explaining how gender is viewed in their society, because it was all well and good having the you choose thing, but then I found it really fascinating that even through that the gender norms, once you were confirmed, seemed very similar to ours. And I was really intrigued to like, I mean, I doubt the author's really gone into like the history, but the reason the gender norms are the way in our society is like backed up by thousands of years of history of utter crap. But I'd be really intrigued to see in this fantasy world where gender has a completely different basis, how they've ended up at the exact same norms, or whether it was just not really considered at all, so they just went with it.
Yeah, you would think it would be like they would be on similar fields if everyone just like when they're 17 like picks, you'd think that everything would be the similar, but
yeah,
it wasn't, and I was like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah,
but maybe it gets explored later in the other
true.
book. Someone said I haven't read them yet, but I heard that the gender stuff, including Achaea's complexity, is addressed more in the later books.
Nice.
Okay, good.
I'm getting more and more tempted to read the later books because as I've already mentioned, I think I didn't love the beginning. I felt like I wasn't getting into it, but I was really into it by the end. So I'm optimistic that now I've got that basis, I would enjoy the other books more.
Oh yeah.
So I might have to give them a go.
Yeah, I'm gonna at least try the second.
So,
yeah.
What did you think about Achaea's boyfriend? I don't know.
Adorable.
I loved him.
They were
Adorable.
so cute.
So
Yeah,
cute.
same. Yes.
That relationship
But I don't
was
remember
adorable.
the name.
I love them.
I absolutely loved that, honestly. I thought that was so great.
Yeah.
It was so interesting because when we saw Akira at the beginning, he was kind of harsh and, as we sort of said, being left behind and kind of acting out. But the difference in his personality around his partner was just mad and so cute.
Adorable.
But then, through the partner, Achaea joined the rebellion, and I didn't really get the rebellion. Like, they were fighting against the protector, like Achaea's mother, but I didn't really get what Achaea's mother was doing that was so bad.
Yeah. Again, I feel like it was a world building that was lacking. But I don't know if there was anything that specific. I think it was just a general, like, people aren't happy with how it's being run, so kind of going against it. I don't know if there was anything that specific, but I don't know.
Like, no insight as what I saw, kind of thing. But I remember that maybe is that like they kept mentioning that like she only views people like as numbers and like a lack of empathy and stuff like that. So maybe that's part of it. But
yeah, I think just a generically bad ruler.
Yeah. And then this Mokoya got a kid, and then the kid died, and then
yeah.
Sorry, I'm just like going through the whole book here.
Actually, that storyline of the kid slightly annoyed me because it felt so much like a plot device to bring Akira and Mokoya together. Because they'd had this big point of like Akira never met the kid and then the kid dies. Like because it being so short and because we never met the kid, I didn't feel empathy for the situation. I didn't feel like impacted by it. And so it just felt like a sympathy ploy in terms of writing. And I don't know, it just didn't sit quite right with me. I was like, I feel like I should care more about this. But the only knowledge we have of this kid is like a one-line description. And it's just been introduced and then taken out so fast. Like, I didn't feel
and the
that
kids
much.
sent some letters or something.
Yeah.
To the point where like it doesn't even matter. Like you could have put another way for them to have like met back up, but what was the point of that?
Yeah.
Oh, when they were meeting in the end, and then Mokoya was like dying, and then Akea had to go to the mother, I was just like, don't die.
I was like, I swear.
I feel like, I'm not sure the last like small chunk I fully followed, like the action scenes, what was actually happening.
Same. I don't know what happened. I know that Akea...
the lack of explanation of the magic system, so it's really hard to visualize or get a picture of her what's actually happening because they never explain. But
yeah, Akea and the mother was like they were fighting, and then Akea won, and then they chose not to kill the mother, and it was like a big deal, and then they won, and I don't really know what happened after that.
Yeah, I just heard epilogue. I'm like, epilogue? What?
I'm not like I was so concerned reading this book. So I remember I was there like it's just obviously it's small, and I was like, there's 30 pages left. There's 20 pages left. There's 10 pages left. When are we like getting a resolution? Like I was there like we've had 200 pages and not that much has happened. So, but like also a lot has because it skipped through so many years, but like, we've not actually seen that much. And then all of a sudden I was like, what's going on? Because you don't have a lot of space left. And I feel like a lot needs to happen real fast. So it really picked up in like the last 50, but possibly too much. I feel like this just needed to be 400 pages long. It needed to be 400 pages. And if they'd put something at the beginning to show the motivation of the plot, they could have easily made this 400 pages, got more detail in it, more character development, and more plot. I'll be intrigued to see if the sequels do that in effect, but
I was like, either 400 pages or cut off some of it because we didn't need 30 pages in less than 300 pages, or 30 years in less than 300 pages.
Yeah,
like they could have made them much younger. Like it didn't need to be like suddenly in their 30s. It could have been like 5 years later. That would have been enough. Like
I think we were obviously trying to make the point of like the big separation of like years they've not seen each other and the kid and all of this, but also
I feel like that could have easily been the second book, though. You know, like that first part between they split up could have been the first book.
Yeah.
Of like this length.
Yeah.
The second book could have been that second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'd been more fleshed out.
So someone said the second book appears to follow Makoya, so maybe there will be more regarding that loss. It is, because I read the beginning of the synopsis and it says Makoya lost her child. Like it's the first thing that says. So it is like after that. And I'm like, yeah.
I'll be intrigued to see how the author. I'll be intrigued to see how the author does that, because having already seen the loss and not felt connected to it because of the speed at which it was done, I'm really intrigued to see if the author can kind of get me back on side with caring about that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just intrigued.
I think it could be like we could care. Like I think the author clearly has the abilities to do that, because
I think if they'd done it from the starting point, it would have been pretty easy, but I'm just intrigued to see, having already kind of almost got me slightly offside with that storyline, pulling it back. Be intriguing. Yeah.
I feel you.
Was there like one vision Makoya had and then they tried to stop it and then it happened anyway, but I don't remember what that vision was? Or did I just like
Is that the one with Senjay?
Is that the one at the beginning, or was that the...
Yeah, I guess they tried to stop several and then they realized they will always happen.
Yeah.
I kind of blocked those out of my brain.
Well, again, they were so skirted over because they were trying to get that whole bit across so quickly so that they could then go and see Senjay and be like, you're going to survive. We know this. We've seen it. But like, we hadn't seen it. They had. So, yeah.
I think in general, novellas are really hard because it's really hard to write a really impactful story, especially like a fantasy thing with all these elements we're building and characters and plot in like a really short story. I think it's almost impossible to make it like super solid, but like it was still really good and interesting.
I think it's like we've already said, it was the time span that really worked against it being in novella format. Like I read a lot of novellas and lots of them I love, but almost all of them really like a year or two. And if you can do it in that really intensive plot, character focused, like intense section, they work really well. I feel like doing an epic, not quite generational, but long-term story in novella format is really difficult. And worked against the format the author's trying to use.
Definitely, yeah. Because
again, even in each...
They all just got super quiet.
You were like, I don't know what else to say.
Well, it's also in each like age bracket we saw, it was such a snapshot. They didn't feel like they connected together until so far through the book.
Yeah.
If there'd been something drawing that whole storyline together earlier, I feel like it would have been all right. But it just felt like, I think someone said earlier in the comments, actually, it almost felt like a series of short stories within a novella.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the relation wasn't there, and that was quite jarring.
Definitely. Yeah, like like snapshot, I felt like it was only maybe a week of that time. And then like we would just jump forward like a decade. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
You're saying everything
absolutely.
important only happens in a week and then nothing for like a whole year. Like, good to know, evidently.
The like 30-year jump or like 20 or how years it was, that was literally what was so off-putting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and I can understand that you can have a big jump
Also,
and you
can
can
guys
do a
keep
good
freezing
job.
because my internet is bad. I'm sorry. I'm lagging. I keep interrupting you guys.
What I was saying is I feel like you can do a really big like jump of a few decades or whatever, and you can pull it in really, really well and like explain what happened in that time lost while still carrying on. That's possible, but I don't know if it's possible in so few pages, because it's like we already said, we felt like there was so much missing that we didn't see and therefore didn't understand. And again, I think it is to do with the short format. I am a huge fan of novellas. I love them. I wish this hadn't been a novella. It's borderline novella anyway, being 230. It's pushing its luck.
It really
It's
is.
a novella in a short book.
Yeah, my copy was.
But yeah, I was.
Really?
No, mine was like 223.
Novella, or is that just a small book?
What is the? I'm gonna look that up. What is the definition of a novella? What
It
is
says
word count, which is always
it
awkward, because to be
it
fair,
says
there's
it is
not a lot of
novella.
words on the page.
average length? It says between 10,000 and 40,000 words.
That's the thing, it's word count, and I can see that because there are not a lot of words on the page. So to be fair, it probably
It's like,
is.
yeah, but it literally says in the description of the book that like the Red Threads of Fortune, which is the second, it's like it's twin novella, so they're supposed to be like.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely listed and sold as novellas. Oh yeah, no, I'm not debating that. I just sort of was like Cecilia said, where is the line between a short book? Because like if you're getting towards 300, there's no question that that's just a book.
Mm-hmm. That's just a shorter book, yeah.
Yeah.
But comments?
Let's see.
I think it's length in general. I think it's hard, but some books feels like too long when nothing happens. Like Bone Shard Daughter, we felt like it was just a lot. It wasn't even long. It was only 400 pages, but it felt like nothing happened over so many pages, right? Mm-hmm. And here we have a book that's a bit short, and it's like too much happened, or like we missed things. So it's really hard to find that balance of like how long and what's going to happen in that time. Yeah,
I think it's interesting as well, though, that even though this was like, you know, jumping through years really quickly and all of that, I feel like because of the lack of plot motivation, it still to me read slow. Like I didn't feel like it was rushing. It actually almost read slow and plodding, and like we needed to get on with it more, which I just find really interesting, because I would have assumed I would have felt the opposite given how much time was covered in such a short number of pages.
Yeah. I also feel like the book didn't have like one specific plot. In the beginning, it was just like they're twins. One of them has powers, and then they get separated, and then many years later, one of them joins the rebellion, and then they take down a mother. Like that's what happens, but it's not like it's not like you think that will happen from the beginning. It's not like let's do this thing.
True.
Yeah, I would have really liked right from the beginning to have had either an idea or anything that was driving the actions and that you were like waiting for, because I feel like the lack of that definitely impacted my enjoyment.
Yeah, like imagine if they had, because they were seeing like things that would happen in the future. Imagine if they saw like the ending like scene, or what if they saw like the rebellion and all that kind of stuff. Like that.
Yeah,
I think that would
something like that.
Then happen.
Yeah. Then you know that's coming, and then you know like that's what driving it forward. I was just like, these things are happening. Well, some books are like that. Some books don't have like a specific thing they're going after. But that can work. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like words are failing me. I feel like slice of life books where there's not like a driving plot are fine. But it was that combination between slice of life through like 40 years. And it's like, which one are you doing?
You're like, that's
like, slice of life through 40 years. Oh my god, I love that.
Because it was that slice of life feel, like you're just watching it. It's not a plot. You're just kind of watching what is happening. But over a really long period of time.
Yeah, look,
Manny, that was such a good one. Slice of life through 40 years. I love it.
That's gonna be
it's exactly how I felt about Addie LaRue. I was like, I feel like I needed a plot to drive this because it's such a long period of time and so much information. I don't know why I'm reading any of it.
Oh my god, Addie LaRue.
Not Addie LaRue.
Oh, but yeah. But overall, like, I did enjoy it. I would recommend it to people. Like, it's not like if people ask me, like, have you read Black House of Heaven? Will you recommend it? I would be like, yeah, sure. I really enjoyed it. It has interesting things. But I would also like say like, but it's short, so be aware. That's yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. We're just like, we're on half an hour. What more do we say?
Yeah, it is a short book, short life. But I like what someone said in the comments that they wanted to see, wanted to see the training in the monastery. I wish we had seen the Slack training because then I would have understood what the Slack was.
Yeah, I had no.
What is Slack? Is that the powers?
Yeah, it's the magic Slack.
Oh,
I would at least just a scene, a chapter.
Yeah, like anything. Someone wrote earlier in the comments that they wanted to know more about the Slack, and I thought they made like a place called the Slack because my brain forgot that the magic was named Slack.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I feel like you could have been as simple as what like Children of Blood and Bone did. They put like the clans, tribes, I don't remember what the term was used at the beginning of the book. Literally, because they kept referencing these different types of magic. You could have done a 1-sentence summary of each type before the book started. Like, like the Slack, these are the types of magic book. And it would have made so much more sense than it did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What was the weapons in the cave? Yeah, what was that about when they went into the
I have no idea.
That was
I don't even remember that happening. So,
I just finished it yesterday and I don't even remember what.
I remember this.
Like that happened.
Makoya had gone missing and Akiha went after her, maybe, and she was like in this weird dusty cave where there was loads of weapons and this like creature came out and tried to kill Makoya. I think so. They were maybe trying to escape because they'd found Makoya was a prophet. That might have been when.
Was this in the beginning, like before they separated? Oh,
yeah,
I have no idea.
Yeah, I
think it's when they were trying to escape because they'd realized Makoya was the prophet and that they were going to be taken.
Oh yeah, that part. I remember that.
And then the reason they had to go back is because Makoya almost died.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah,
never spoken about again. Just moved on.
I was like, find me, and they're like, it's fine.
I don't even know in our lives. It sounds like we like just criticize everything. We don't sound like we like anything.
I mean, the thing I loved was the gender thing. Again, I just wish it was talked about more. And
the relationship.
Really like the sibling relationship and the romantic relationships. Although the Tenjay and Makoya one was fast, I still liked it. But then again, if it's romantic, I probably like it. So I'm easily pleased.
Yeah, I thought it was okay, but fast. I was like, y'all say you love each other. That's a little much for me.
I feel like the reason I liked it is because Makoya just fell for him and he just fully abused that. It was like, cool, I'll use you liking me to get my way and then be like, okay, now we can have a relationship. I don't know why, that just made me laugh. Like, slightly manipulative, probably not a good thing. Really amused me.
Yeah.
I just really like Tenjay. I want a Tenjay book.
That would be good.
Maybe
is there one?
Later. Well, if the next book is Makoya,
we'll probably see more of him.
Definitely would be there.
That's true.
I almost spoiled myself. Nope, I'm not doing that.
But like, yeah. Also appreciate like that the book is written by an Asian author, that all the characters are Asian and stuff.
Yeah,
nice.
Definitely.
Like more queer Asian books, fantasy.
Yeah.
So that's also nice. Yeah.
And we might have another one of those coming up later in the year.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Who
I
knows?
actually don't know. I don't know what we're reading.
You had a second where like we do like
Like, what are we reading? I don't even know.
Hey,
Like, let
you
me
chose that one. You should know.
Oh, did I? Oh,
Oh, there you go.
my
Figured
gosh.
it out. Well done.
yeah, my brain. Yeah.
Yeah. As normal, the brain cell is being passed around.
Yeah. We can't have like too much brains at the same time. That doesn't work.
Not at all.
Absolutely not.
But overall, I just like all the books we're reading. So we really need to find one that I hate.
Yeah.
That sounds so awful. I just meant like.
I really actually, yeah, no, I don't think I 5-starred one yet, and I really want to. Cemetery Boys was really close, but I don't think
maybe
I
next month or maybe March.
Well,
March,
Cecilia,
maybe.
did you 5-star Cinderella? Is that right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. But that's the only one.
That's the only one I 5-starred. Yeah.
So I didn't 5-star Yin in the 9th.
Really?
Yeah, I think about it now. I'm like, I don't really know why, but like, I need this certain feeling to give it 5 stars.
Yeah.
I love Getting in the Night, and it's like one of my favorite books, but it's not like my favorite book. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
So I haven't 5-starred anything either.
I, not to like be mean to the people in the comments who don't know what we're gonna read. If I don't 5-star June, I give up.
And you quit?
Like at that point, I just don't even know what's happening because the chance I better 5-star that book. I just better.
I'll be surprised if you don't.
I'll be surprised if I don't. To be fair, actually, oh wait, I have 5-starred a book. We've not read it yet, but I've read it before.
Oh,
I have 5-starred one.
There you go.
Maybe you will take down maybe you would take down the what's it called? The rating when you read it again.
That's
Don't
true.
say that. Please no.
I'm sorry.
That's not a good thing.
Knock us some wood.
But that was happens to me. Like I'm like, oh my god, I love this book so much, and then I read it again. I'm like,
I am nervous about that. I'm not gonna lie.
I know
2 years ago.
Oh my gosh! Like if I know if I reread Cinderella's Dead again, I know I'm gonna give it a 3. I know I will.
No.
I know I will.
Have you seen the the next book by the same author, This Poison Heart? It looks so good. I'm very excited.
It really does. I'm excited.
The cover is so pretty. Yeah, it's a retelling of The Secret Garden.
Which is exciting. I haven't actually read a retelling of The Secret or The Secret Garden.
No. I don't even know what The Secret Garden is about. I just know.
I just know it's racist.
But I think this is an urban fantasy. It's set in New York, like the.
Oh no, I might hate it.
If I remember correctly, actually, like no one listen to me. I think I know things about books, and then I actually don't. So like,
getting me the City Became vibes.
No, which was great, by the way. I can't really. You're just like fighting each other.
Moving on. No. Anyways.
Imagine if like we all met and had like a live show in real life, and then we just like fight each other.
Fight each other.
You liked it.
We have like those inflatable like little mallets, so we're just like.
Oh my god! Someone's asked if it's the March book that I've 5-starred. I'm like, no, I've not read that yet. It's not out yet. Like,
the March book we have announced, haven't we? My brain is like, the March book is A Dark Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. Yeah.
I was like, I forgot.
It comes out, I think, the 23rd of February. So, like, it's out this month, and it's ready to be read by March.
Oh, yeah.
So, I have this thing where I used to call March Mars, which is like the planet, and then my English friend made fun of me, and every time I say March, I think about it.
Oh no!
Oh, they still reminded me to pre-order because I have not done that yet.
Nice.
It is a time.
Someone said, with Secret Garden, I've never read the book. I've only seen the film, like the original film with like Maggie Smith, which like, I mean, the book's got some dodgy as hell stuff in it. And I think the film probably does too. I think it's very of its time, but like nostalgia, I only have good thoughts about it because I watched it when I was a child. But there's a new film happening and it pisses me off.
I just Googled Secret Garden. It came out a new film in 2020.
Yeah, there's a new one and it's like all magical. I'm like, no, it's not magical. There's no magic in this. It's just cute.
Huh.
and they've made it like super magical, and I'm like, no.
Oh,
Just annoys me so much.
The movies that they made for like Alice in Wonderland, like and the Oz, the Great and Powerful, like those ones. It looks kind of weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's giving me if they made The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in 2020.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Someone said, thought you might have scored an arc to Darker Hollow Star. Oh, we wish, all of us.
Oh, we wish.
I didn't request it. I really struggle with ebooks, so I just never request arcs unless I can get a physical copy. And
I do, but I just get rejected because they hate me. It literally says in like the rejection, like, oh, we like to only give it to people where like because you're international and stuff, and I'm just like, well, it's not like I can't buy the book just because I'm international. It's not like people who see my review can't like it just because I don't live. Like, I'm just like, where's the logic? Whatever. That's also another conversation.
Laugh when influencers they don't give things to because they're international. Like, I mean, obviously I'm not fucking UK, so normally UK US, but also there is, I would guess, a large part of your viewership is UK and US. If you look at analytics, a large part of everyone's viewership is UK and US. So you may not live there, but the people you're telling about the book do.
And physical, I can maybe understand because you have to go through customs and all that. But if it's electronic, there's no point. Like it's
that's what I mean.
I feel like that does nothing. You know what I mean? You're not doing any extra effort.
Yeah.
And also books, I think in a lot of countries, especially I think at least in the EU, are always tax-free.
Yeah. In Norway it is.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know about the US. I'm pretty sure they're not tax-free. Nothing's tax-free here.
It's because rich people don't pay their taxes.
Viva la revolution.
Revolution.
I couldn't even say that for a second. I was like,
I love it if you just stopped completely talking about the book.
I feel like we said what needed to be said.
Yeah, it's a novella. It's short. It's a short book, so there's not as much to talk about. And none of us hated it, so we didn't have anything to rant about,
Yeah, like we didn't hate it.
It's quite middle of the road, quite short. Not a lot happens in it. Like,
well, things happen, but we like skipped it.
Yeah, we're like, we just needed more explanation, and then it would be fantastic. That's all we need. More explanation. That's it.
Give it an extra 150 pages, and it would have been solid.
Would have been great.
And use all those 150 pages for world building and backstory.
Yes.
Thanks.
We should have just like a live where we just like chat about random
stuff,
or books or like random shit. I don't even know, just for fun.
I'm down.
Yeah, like just like saying ideas in the middle of the live show. Okay, do we want to talk about a recent queer read? We can do that.
I just quickly, because we've not actually said, we talked about March. February, we're reading The Space Between Worlds, by the way.
Oh yeah.
We skipped to March.
I do have it. It's just I'm at my friend's house
in February, and this will be on my channel.
Yeah. Maybe last time it was on my channel, so it would be on yours.
Literally cannot count to 3. I swear to God. Just never got a clue where we're at. But this is what we're reading, and it's not too long, but it's a bit longer. It's 320, and I'm very
actually like full like novel this time.
Oh
everyone! Oh my God!
Look at us!
I'm excited. Also, I'm
very excited.
I'm really excited.
A moment because I was just skimming through.
It looks very cool, and it would be nice to read some sci-fi. It's like it's been a while.
Yeah, because the last one we read was that Gideon was the last one. Sci-fi.
That sounds bad.
Was questionly sci-fi.
Yeah, but that was like surprise sci-fi. It was accidentally sci-fi.
So I don't know if I count that one.
But even Gideon didn't feel like sci-fi because other than the fact it was on planets, which you never actually see anything about.
Yeah,
just read a second book. Read a second book.
Does it get sci-fi?
I don't want to. No.
I mean, that's very fair.
But like you guys like didn't like that Gideon was confusing. So like you would hate Harold and I. Yeah, it's like it's like actually so confusing that I was just like the 251st pages. I was like, I have no idea what's going on, but in the end, it was worth it. But like that's like even more confusing than Gideon. So like you guys would be like, fuck this shit. What is Sandra making me do?
I think when the third one comes out, I am considering rereading Gideon and then reading the other two, because everyone says Harrow is really confusing, but then it does resolve itself quite well and explain itself later in the book, which I feel like I can cope with. I can cope with being confused for a bit if it then makes sense. Gideon just never made sense.
Yep.
I'm just nodding and just being like, yes, do it.
Please read it. Yeah.
Yeah. We will have a special Facing Gears live for the whole series.
Yes, I'll wait for people to. I'll see what the reviews are from the third, and then if it ends good, then I'll be like, okay, I'll give the other two.
I read the third, and I would just like cry the whole way. Like I can't. Yeah.
Maybe this book will be the one where we actually know what the plot is by the end.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
we've had 2 in a row now, which just made no sense.
Honestly, why do we keep picking ones that make no sense?
I don't know. We've picked a lot of confusing books.
My friend is almost like, how did the live go? I'm like, oh, it went well, but we didn't understand the book. And she's like, wait, but didn't you say that about like the last live show, like every single time? And I'm like, yeah, we are like idiots.
Gideon, no one understood. Parts of City We Became were confusing.
Yep, true.
Cemetery
Boys and Cinderella's Dead.
But Cinderella wasn't confusing. We understood that.
Cinderella's Dead was fine. Cemetery Boys was fine, and Bone Shard Daughter was fine.
Yeah,
and then Raven Tower
parts that were a bit confusing. Not Cemetery Boys, but like Bone Shard Daughter had some things that was like a bit confusing.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it was overall confusing.
No, we got it. Yeah.
Overall, we got it, but yeah.
But like, so half the books we read is confusing,
which we've not understood.
So that's a little bit of half.
Well, we did understand them, but like, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
That's
the point where we should.
Yeah. Right. Do you want to do what Sandra was saying? Do recent queer thing we've read? And I think I'm going to do the same thing as I did in January, because I've now read the sequel, so I'm going to go grab those.
Okay. I've been a bad person and I haven't read in the last month, and I was like, let me try to find a backwood, and I'm like, ooh, I can't find one that I liked that I haven't talked about on here, and I was like, crap. All right, we're not doing it. So I talk about a series and I'll read a whole series, and then I'm like, well, I'm not going to talk about the series again because it's just redundant at this point. Because it's
wait, which series?
Well, like the manga series I would talk about, because I'll read the whole series, and I'm like, I'm not going to talk about it again.
Yeah, actually, the last manga series, I forgot which one you talked about, and I was just like, I didn't write it down, and now I cry. So you have to tell me again.
Now I can't remember which one it was.
It was like a threesome. No, not threesome. Yeah, a threesome.
Triangle,
not triangle, not a threesome.
Blue Flag, that's the one it was.
Blue Flag, yes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. That's the one.
I don't know why I said threesome. Can we just ignore that?
I was kind of a threesome.
Okay.
It was a...
Oh. Okay, Maddie, you go. Shoot.
The one I spoke about on the last live was The Fever King, because I was partway through it. I've now finished The Fever King and The Electric Air, and I love these frickin' books so much. They're so good.
I like the covers. They're very...
They're really cool.
I'm like surprised you don't have the hardcovers, Maddie.
I only don't because I got the first one in a bookstore and it's just what they had when I didn't know about the series. I am very much intending to buy the hardcovers.
Of course.
No, they're so cool under the dust jackets. I need them.
I need to buy them too.
Because it's one of my favorite series. It's phenomenal. For anyone who doesn't know, it's dystopian, set in America like 100 years-ish in the future, where there has been this virus called magic, and it kills almost everyone, but if you survive, you then have magic. And like all sorts of different magical powers. It's dystopian. It's kind of like a creepy ass dictator. It's male. Everyone is fucking queer. It's great. It's so good. You expect your brain will explode because I read it twice and I still don't know who I trust in this series.
Oh my god!
I read it.
Let me add that to my list.
It's good. It's good.
I read it.
Another group read it for live, and I like tuned in some of the live, and they all didn't like it. They were like, "This feels like 2012 dystopian." I was like, "No, it doesn't. It's so much better. It's so good."
Like,
it's like
I was like, "I can't do this. I'm torturing myself."
It's the same thing that I said when I read it. I'm really sorry.
I feel like people either say it's like massive 2012 dystopian vibes, or it's like way different and way more complex, but it does seem that people really fall into two camps with that.
Yeah, well,
I enjoyed some aspects, but there's some things that I really didn't like. So
Fair.
like they fall in the middle of the tree,
yeah.
kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like when I like watch like or see people's reviews on it, it's usually depending on how big they were into the dystopians in 2012, it really affects how they did it. Because if they only read like maybe Hunger Games and Divergent, then they like it more, depending on the people who read all of them and they're like, I've read all this before, you know?
Yeah. I didn't read all of them back in 2012 because I stopped reading like 2014 when half the series was still coming out. So like I never got around to like Legend by Marie Lu. I mean, I read the first book, but I never finished it.
Legend is actually very fun.
I still own the series, and I still think I'm going to read it. To be honest, I'm definitely still.
I haven't read like the Darkest Minds.
I never read
but I
Darkest
have it.
Minds. I never did like the selection.
I read the selection.
I did not read the selection, and I'm not intending to. No, just that I'm not intending to read the selection, I think.
No, I read the whole series in 4 days.
Nice.
In college. I don't know how I did that. I don't know why I give the first book 5 stars too. I'm like, you're tripping. I don't know.
If you read it now, you would rate it the same.
If I read it now, it was just trash. It was just straight up trash.
But trash is so fun.
It was like a guilty, it's like that guilty pleasure where it's like when you watch. It's like if when people watch The Bachelor, have never watched The Bachelor, or like when you watch those kind of reality shows, like Love Island. It felt very much like Love Island, like that trash level where you're like, it's just so bad, but I gotta keep watching.
Gripping, yeah.
So
no, but yeah, I loved dystopian. I was always really sad when the whole dystopian phase ended.
Oh yeah.
So I'm thrilled to see a few coming back. I love it.
Yeah, I feel like where people are starting to want it more now because we've been so long without it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we live in a dystopian world, so
it was interesting in the live I watched because they were very much saying like, I don't know why someone's publishing dystopian right now. Like that's not on trend, and I was like, it doesn't need to be. Just publish it anyway.
Listen,
like anything could be fun, even though it's not trending, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because as long as there's a market for it, then
everyone is like publishing Dark Academia right now, but. Like
Dark Academia's got a serious buzz going at the moment, hasn't it?
It really does. That's wild.
What is
Dark Academia?
Yeah,
I do be
Why
reading.
did I say academia? Or do you say academia? What's happening?
I say academia.
Why do I say academia? Why can't I speak?
I think it depends on where you live.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
The people in the US say Dark Academia, and then some people say Dark, and then I notice that people who aren't from the US usually say Dark Academia. So it kind of.
Yeah. I'm trying to work out what I would say if I was just talking about like academia. I feel like I do use E, but also I may well do that because I mainly like watch Americans. So I feel like I pick up like I've had that so many times where I'll say a word in front of my mum and she looks at me and I'm like, what? She's like, why are you saying it like that? I'm like, why wouldn't I? Because I watch like a lot of American TV and stuff and I just have no idea that we say it differently. I'm like, well, we're going with it. It's too late now.
That's fair. It's like sometimes when I'm writing, I'll just like spell it the like with like U's randomly. Like I'll put color and I'll put a U. I'm like, that's not how you what?
Should be U's.
Yeah, I'll put U's in places that like or E's at the end, and I'm just like, that's not how. What do you mean?
Oh,
I hate spelling.
My work laptop is set in English United States and is trying to put a Z in every word. I swear to God, we use S's.
Why? And like what? I'm confused. I was like, why are we putting Z's in things?
Well, when
like
you
recognize.
organize, we spell organize with an S, not a Z.
Oh yeah, there's a Z in organize. Yeah,
and there's so many words like recognize, organize, all of these, and it keeps trying to put Z's in them. I'm like,
yeah,
no.
if it has I, there's a Z. Yeah. We do like our Z's here.
Yeah. Whereas we do not use Z ever. I don't think. Yeah.
Oh, so
maybe bus. Then you use that. Oh yeah, me. Okay, yes. So I was like looking at my recent reads and I was like, what did I read? But yeah, I remembered I read The Weight of the Stars by Kay Ankrum.
I really want to read that. I just got that in January.
And it was just so good. Like I gave it 5 out of 5 stars and I like cried in the end. But yeah, it's sci-fi contemporary-ish, because we also don't know if it is also sci-fi. So it follows, I'm like looking up at the synopsis because I'm cheating. It follows Ryan, whose parents are dead, and then she lives in a trailer with her brother, who also has a baby, and then she also like has this group of friends, and they all like have nothing in common, but what they have in common is that they don't fit in anywhere else, kind of. So they're all just like friends, and they're all different personalities, and it's very nice. And then this new girl starts that's named Alexandria, and then there was this thing 17 years ago where young people had the opportunity to go into space. Like 70, 80-year-olds to go into space, and it's like a trip where you don't come back. Like you're supposed to just travel as long as you can, and then just like, yeah, basically you're gonna die out there, obviously. And then Alexandria's mother was chosen, but she didn't know that she was pregnant at the time, so they kind of covered it up, and then it was just like she left her child, kind of, because she couldn't bring the baby into space. And then Alexandria just has grown up like trying to like broadcast and getting messages from her mom, and just like that connection with the family and stuff.
Okay.
And it's just kind of beautiful. And like it goes, and they the two girls get a thing. Yeah, if you didn't get that. And it's just it's just very, very good. It was very romantic, but also heartbreaking, but also very cute. And I recommend it a lot. It was much better even than I thought it would be. Like,
Yeah, I just got it in January, and oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love that kind of plot. I'm reading a book right now that kind of has something similar, where it's like a bunch of teenagers go off into space, they can't come back. And I don't know why, the dynamics, the thought process. I think that's the one I'm reading is slightly different because it follows the people on the shuttle as they're going up, and they're like, well, we're 23 years, what we doing? And it's really interesting. But
what book is that?
It's Do You Dream of Terra 2 by
Oh, I really want to read that.
I'm reading it right now. It's really good so far. It's long, but I'm really enjoying it.
I've heard such amazing things.
It's super good so far. So I'll let you
find it. Do you dream of?
Yeah, Terra 2, TERRA dash to TWO. But
yeah.
But it's really
maybe I can't find it because Goodreads sucks.
I swear I was only like 50 pages in, and I'm like, wow, I understand these characters. I don't know why. I was just like gripped. So I'm like 200 pages in, and it's like a 500-page book.
Oh, that's nice. But yeah, I feel like we could have read The Weight of the Stars, The Weight of Our Stars. I mixed The Weight of the Stars for Faes and Gaze, but like I just read it. Sorry.
I know a good contender, and then someone's like, actually, but I kind of read it already. I couldn't stop.
We do this a lot. We'll be like, let's do this one, and then someone's like, read it.
But there's so many books, so like
it's like read it, but too soon enough to reread it. That's usually
like the book we're doing, which I won't announce, in May is one I've read, and I was like campaigning for us to do it.
Not
like,
May, April.
Please.
April.
Yes, that's the month that comes after March. I thought it was May.
I was like May. What?
I know what we're doing in May as well. Not me looking at the list. My brain is.
I forgot, and I was like,
April.
"What?"
April is the 4th month of the year. May is not.
Campaigning for April.
I was campaigning for April.
Yeah, you were.
I hope you like it. If you read it before,
I read it.
Did you like it?
Yes.
Good.
Why did I say it in that tone?
You're like, I'm judging.
I liked it, but I feel like I don't really remember much.
Yeah.
So like,
I'm the only one who read it, but I met the author, so
yeah. So that's rude. No,
that's rude. I met the author before I even knew who he was. I was like, hi. This is cool, and then I never read it. But here we are.
You made me like spit on the table.
Not spit.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So are we at the end then?
Yeah, I feel like we managed to
slide just went.
That's usually how it ends, is that we just start going off on different tangents.
And won't like going to watch it live. Oh, we're gonna hear this great discussion on the Black Tides of Heaven, and I like halfway through that like,
what?
Sorry. They just leave. Leave.
The point.
But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I was about to like end this like my normal video. That was kind of weird. I'm
Do
sorry.
the outro.
Yeah, like the whole outro.
Wow.
Yeah, we are reading the
Space Between Worlds.
The Space Between Worlds in February on Maddie's channel. Join the Discord. We write things there. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.